What's going on, guys? This is Dr. Isang going on it's going to be a 20 to 25 minute walk, but it's going to end up being like a 10 to 15 minute walk because I have to go in to see some patients, but just using this time to be able to just let people know that, one of the best things you can do is to remain as active as possible. Just being that the more you are active, the less issues you have in the future. I feel like a lot of people start to decrease the amount of exercise input, whether that's working out on a daily basis or on a weekly routine or just, being active. There's a significant difference when you see those individuals who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s and are extremely mobile compared to the ones who same age but can barely go from their bed to the couch or complete activities of daily living. And I think a lot of it just comes with just being as active as possible. So this is, your time. This is, if you're watching this, be as active as you can. Any small thing that you can do consistently, routinely is going to make a huge difference. My dad is 81 years old and he is extremely active for his age. He walks anywhere from 5 to 10 miles on a daily basis, hitting anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 steps daily. He doesn't like doing it all the time, but he makes it consistent, and that's going to be the key. Consistent over motivation. Sometimes we can have motivation to do something, but a lot of times that motivation dies. Versus consistency, no matter rain or shine, good weather, bad things happening, weather, bad things happening, or life is great, you're going to get those steps and you're going to get that consistency in working out it. Now, here are 3 ways to be consistent, 3 ways that you can start building good habits. And I think the first one is going to be setting the appropriate goals on day 1 or week 1. And if you haven't been someone who works out consistently or lifts weights consistently, it would be irresponsible of you to say, I'm going to go to the gym and run for 6 miles or even 2 miles, or say I'm going to go to the gym and bench press 230 pounds. But what you can do is say, I'm going to go to the gym 1 time this week, and I'm going to try my best to make it to the gym 1 time every week for X amount of weeks, and then you increase it up to 2 times or 3 times a week. What you don't want to do is give yourself inappropriate goals that cannot be reached, and then when you don't reach it, you find yourself being in a place of depression, and then it gives you a negative feedback to make you not want to try to achieve those goals anymore. Instead, you want to give yourself goals that you can achieve that are somewhat simple, but the more that you want to keep on achieving more goals, the more that you want to keep on, increasing the difficulty of the task for you to achieve. There's a book called The Winning Effect that I'm starting to read, that if you set the appropriate goals in the beginning, it makes winning more possible, more fun, but it also encourages you to become better. I believe the second one is making sure that you have the right community, the right people to support you. And sometimes it may be not even telling anybody. If you find that there are people that you tell certain things to, and then instead of giving you encouragement, they discourage you, it may be best to just keep these things to yourself, keep motivating yourself, and just keep pushing forward. A lot of times those same individuals will only support you when they start to see the successes, and that's unfortunate. So keep getting after it and find the right community. Now, the right community is not always going to be your family members or sometimes even your close friends. Once again, if you find that those individuals are the ones who unfortunately bring nests into your life, then it may be best to not share those goals with them. Sometimes it can be, finding people outside of your close social network. It can be using social media, or a lot of times just putting the grit down and then just doing it on your own. Just make sure that you have the right community, and sometimes the right community can be a community of one, just yourself. Final one is eliminating dead weight. And when I say eliminating dead weight, it means understanding what in the past has prevented you from reaching the goals that you want to in life. For instance, if your goal is getting into a certain shape, whether it's losing weight, building muscle, or a mixture of both, what has stopped you in the past? Has it been the food choices that you're making? Opening up the pantry, do you see things that you can remove, aka the dead weight that has been preventing you from progressing? And I think that's the hardest part, especially in fitness and in health. You cannot outwork a bad diet, so you have to remove those foods that are preventing you from being successful. So other than that, and for nutrition specifically, but for whatever goals that you're trying to achieve, what is the dead weight in your life that's preventing you from your achievements? And I think that's the hardest part. That's the part that each individual needs to really focus and figure out what they can do to change and prevent their goals from not being achieved. For instance, for me, I know that if I put certain pastries in the house, I'm not going to be able to pace myself. If it's supposed to last a week, it's going to last 2 hours. It's going to last 30 minutes to an hour. So my dead weight is removing those foods so that I don't even tempt myself with it. The same way, you have to dig deep inside and figure out what's the dead weight in your life that's preventing you from being successful. Name's Dr. Isang. If you got any benefit, you know what to do. Be blessed.